Very good evening. So this is the third lesson. The Reverend Sujiva has covered the awareness of the body. Then the second one he has done, awareness of feelings. So tonight I will continue on with the awareness of the mind. In Pali is Citta Dhamma, awareness of the mind. Now, you may be aware that when you note the rising and falling of the abdomen, it is the mind that is noting, it's the mind that is aware, and also of the feelings. Again, it is the mind. When the body sensation, hot or cold, pain or itchiness, arises from the body base, again it is the mind that knows. The body does not know, it's the mind that knows. So therefore, when we come to the third one, awareness of the mind, the body does not know, the mind knows. So it is the awareness of the mind itself. I got some notes here directly from the saying of the Buddha on the awareness of the mind. How does a monk dwell practicing mind contemplation on the mind? Herein a monk knows the mind with greed as with greed, the mind without greed as without greed. So it is noting the states of mind when it arises. So at that moment, when the mind is with greed, then the meditator knows the mind is with greed. Or it is without greed, then it knows it is without greed. Now we go a little bit on to understand sometimes what is greed and what is the characteristics of greed in order to recognize them. Now greed is like a sticky glue. Sticky glue. It sticks on to pleasant sense object. So when there is pleasant objects, it sticks on to it. And its cause of arising. How does greed arises? Arises because of a pleasant object. Wrong attention to the pleasant object. Then greed that has not arisen will arise, the Buddha say. And when it has arisen, it will grow, become very strong, and leads to cleaning. Now, again referring to one monk, a venerable monk, approached the Buddha and inquired about this subject. The Buddha gave him these discourses. Herein, Upavana, a monk having seen a form with his eyes, is aware of his desire for the form. This is in me a desire for forms. Furthermore, Upavana, a monk having heard a sound with his ears, having smelled, having tasted, having felt, having cognized, he is aware of the mental object and for his desire for the mental object. That he knows there is in me a desire for mental objects. Now that is noting the mind, a desire for mental object. That is note. Now, why do we want to note the mind is the question. Why do we want to be aware of the mind? Why? So that we'll be able to see the nature of this mind and body, this I you consider, this me, able to see it with bare attention, without adding concepts, without being led by our desire, ignorance and so forth, and to see the nature of it. How does it arises? Why does it arises? Like greed, for example, arises because of a pleasant object. Then strong attention to the pleasant object, then greed will arise. Now when we talk about the nature of how greed arises, greed is a state of mind. Okay? It is mental, it is not physical. So how does the mind arises? It has to have objects. Now the external objects, there are 5 types of external objects: seeing objects, smelling objects, tasting, touching objects. External objects. Internal is mind objects. So there are 6. Now if there's a pleasant object appearing in front of us, a beautiful dress, for example, look at the dress, it's so beautiful, the dress is so nice, and you look again, 50% discount, like that. Sometimes you go and see supermarket discount, early in the morning all line up, fantastic, a lot of people. Eye object, see here and there, non-stop for hours and hours. Why? Because to see present objects. Then a desire to possess arises. So if you see, no, my size gone case, you feel very sad. If you can buy it, then you feel happy. A desire for color, for forms. Or you hear sound, pleasant sound, music, nice music, pleasant conversation, and you like it. Or taste food, pleasant food, and you taste it, you like it, a desire for it, and you say, okay, I will eat again next time. So desire arises. So when you note the mind, then you see it arises. See the states of mind with desire. You know, mental states, desire is there. Aware. Now why must you aware it? Aware it is that you do not increase the desire, make it strong, then it goes into cleaning. You are not aware. See the thing, you want it very badly, and then you keep on thinking about this thing that you want, and if you can't have it, then there's a lot of suffering. Having what you cannot, not having what you want is suffering. So when you note the mind, then you see the phenomena, nature of a mind. It arises because of condition. When you note it, you do not increase. Like car, you don't put more fuel into it. It dies off, it passes away. Then you know, now greed has passed away. So the idea is to become objective, to see nature as it is, to see its arising, how it arises, how it passes away. Now, for example here, desire, like fantasizing, dreaming, wishful thinking, so these are considered as desire. And even concepts, views, cling on to your concepts, to your views, that my knowledge is right, yours is wrong. And in meditation, sometimes you want to cling on, desire for progress. When you meditate, you want to attain to what stage, this and that. You want to get strong concentration. It's a form of desire. Okay, form of desire. Now if you don't get what you want, it produces agitation, disturbances, dissatisfaction. Okay, if you say, I must meditate, I want the rising and falling, then you don't get the rising and falling, because the mind is not there. The mind gets very disturbed because of the desire. Okay, or even for stages, if you don't get it, then you start to cling to it, and then by way of intellectual reasoning or preconceived ideas, then you think, oh, I have attained it. I've read the books and they say like that. Now I have seen it. So because of desire again, it gives rise to wrong view. Now, perhaps in meditation too, there are some people who wants to meditate for wrong reason. Like they want to attain superpowers. Say, first thing they come, meditation, what do you want? Say, I want to levitate. Can you levitate? Ask you like that. I say, no, we are not teaching levitation here. You have to go somewhere else. So there's a greed for supernormal powers, and perhaps some would like to perform faith healing. Say, can I do faith healing when I practice your meditation? Or perhaps can even perform magic. They want to perform magic. Now that is a desire. Now we heard about what the Reverend say. We must be pure emotive. You must know what this meditation course is all about. There should be no desire for all these psychic powers and this and that. So if it is in pure motive, then instead of going straight, it starts to go crooked, then don't know where it goes to, don't know where the mind goes to. Right? Now then, for greed here, again we have the second one. Herein, among those, the mind with hatred, with hate as with hate, without hate as without hate. Now to recognize again the mind state of hate, because this is important for your meditation. You may get a lot of agitation when you have pain, or you don't have a good session, you don't get the required calmness that you want, and you say, I'm so disturbed, my meditation cannot meditate today, or a lot of pain, or it is so warm and so hot or so cold. So there arises in the mind anger, frustration. That it needs to note. Anger, or hate. Now when you note objectively, when you note the mind, then you do not increase the anger. It's not led away by the mind. It goes following the stream of thoughts. That means, in other words, it becomes subjective, involved in the thoughts. So when you're involved, you cannot watch. There is no awareness, there's no mindfulness, you cannot see the thoughts, because you are with the thoughts. You cannot see the thoughts. So you get caught up, and then you say, don't know what this meditation all about. Supposed to have calmness and wisdom. What I get is a lot of pain and torture, and restlessness and worry and doubts. So because you have followed the stream of the thoughts, you're caught up with the mind. Should not be away watching. Now if you watch it, then you know, anger. Now as you become aware, watch it objectively. So it does not increase in momentum, does not gain strength. Then it passes away. Then you see the thoughts. There is no more anger. Then you know the mind. Anger as with anger. The mind now is without anger as without anger. You have to see the positive too, not only the negative states of mind. If you only see one side, sometimes meditators, they always see the defilements instead of also seeing the good qualities. They only see the defilements. So much restlessness, cannot meditate so much greed. The moment you meditate, you want to drink water like that. If you don't meditate, you don't want to drink water. So much greed, then so much desire. When you want to meditate, you say, my TV show is coming. How to meditate? Must quickly hurry home. Got movie at 10. Like that. Must rush back. Give an excuse, rush back. So when you meditate, rising, falling, you see the TV there in your mind. Rising, falling, the TV there in your mind. Cannot meditate. So you note it. You have to note. Anger, rising, anger. Note it. Anger. So, where am I? Okay. So how does this anger arising? How does it arise in your mind? So, wait, I haven't finished that. You have to see the wholesome side of the mind as well. If you see the greed, then you also see the non-greed. If you see the hatred, anger, then you also see the non-hatred, non-anger, or loving kindness. When you become concerned to others, when you have a lot of caring for others, you also see the other side to balance up. Now if you only see one side, which sometimes meditators do, they only recognize all the unwholesome state of mind, then the mind gets very agitated and disturbed, and they say, so much defilement in me, I don't want to see anymore, I don't want to meditate. Because the more you meditate, the more you look at yourself, so ugly, then you stop meditating. There is non-balancing. You only see one side. When you see one side, then you magnify on that one side. Then you keep on seeing a lot of these, but none of these. So it becomes unbalanced. Then the mind becomes agitated. So it needs to be balanced. So how does anger or hatred arise? Now in the same way, attachment, desire arises because of pleasant object. Anger, hatred arises because of unpleasant object. Now unpleasant object by itself does not produce anger or hatred. Only when there is wrong attention to the unpleasant object, then hatred that has not arisen will arise. When it arisen, will grow. I give you an example. Now let's say you see a big heap of cow dung. Okay, you know what is a cow dung? Yes, the shit of a cow is called cow dung. Now you see a heap of cow dung. Now you look at the cow dung. Now what does it produce? What do you think? A lot of joy? Say, wonderful, wonderful. What do you think? Do you feel joy or not? Do you feel joy or not, sister? No. Why? Because it's dirty, smelly. Do you get angry or not? If the cow dung right in front of your gate, middle of your gate, big one, angry or not? Yes. Why angry? Because the attention is there. Ayya, what is lousy cow? Why not the next door? Why here? Wrong attention. Okay? So it produces anger, wrong attention, unpleasant object. But very strange sometimes. Unpleasant object can become pleasant. Very strange. Another person who look at the cow dung become very happy. Why? Why he become happy? Because he is planting orchid. He look at that, he say, Ayya, Chohaji. Because he has to buy, cow dung. He has to buy one cartload, a lot of money. Now you don't have to buy right in front. It's there, for you, free. Be happy. This is good for my orchid. Even unpleasant object can bring joy. But to him it is pleasant. Okay? To him is pleasant. To you is unpleasant, but to him is pleasant. Why? Because of his sanya, perception. Because of his perception. When he look at the cow dung, he sees the orchid. He sees the orchid. Perception. Because of his experiences, his memories. He wants that. When he looks at that, it is there. Present to him. Desire rises to him. He quickly take it, put it in his orchid. Otherwise, it is unpleasant. So anger will arise. So he has to mix with attention. Okay? Attention. So attention becomes important. Pali we say mana sikkara. Mana sikkara. Attention to the object. Now in meditation, even pain brings joy. With attention, right attention. One day there is this meditator, and I interview him after the meditation, intensive meditation, and he said, Brother James, I got a lot of pain. I said, is your mind agitated or not? He said, no, my mind is full of joy. I said, hey, you sadistic, you enjoy pain. He said, no, he does not enjoy pain. He watch the pain, watch it with mindfulness. Watch the pain until there is separation of the mind from the pain. Pain becomes an object, becomes objective, not subjective. When it is subjective, gone days, then you say, oh, you pain, please go away, you so painful, Then you say, oh, you bad, very painful, no joy there. Very subjective. Why? Because you is pain, pain is you. Very subjective. Or when it is objective, it is another person's pain. Never mind. It's like you look at somebody else and you see the big mosquito, then you see it landed in his arm there, then you see it poke inside, then you see the backside of mosquito coming up, then you say, Ayya, how fantastic. Because the mosquito is not biting you, biting the other fellow, so it's very fantastic. You see how the mosquito function, suck the blood, very fantastic. So it's another person's pain. It is like looking at the object, objective. Then he says he could see the pain there, he could see it, the variety there, see how intensity and various feeling there and how it pass away, give rise to joy. A lot of joy he experienced because of that phenomena. He said, how wonderful that mind can experience such thing. So it is right attention. Okay? Right attention. Watch it rightly. So this is important for your practice, watching the mind. So you need to understand the characteristics of this mind states. Now next, perhaps we go to, again the Buddha say, herein among knows the mind with delusion, as with delusion, without delusion as without delusion. Now what is this delusion? Now if you are not sure, then you have to ask your teacher. Delusion, the mind becomes deluded. Mind is not able to differentiate between what is real and what is not real. What is creating. The mind creates a lot of things and he still thinks he's meditating. Like one experience with this boy, and he says, Brother Jim, I say, how's your meditation? He says, well, it's quite okay. I say, what is okay? He say, when I meditate, I see pictures. I say, what pictures you see? He say, wow, I see a long road. You see a long road, what more do you see? He say, he traveled the long road. Then I say, what more do you see? Then he see a police car. I say, what more do you see? Then he see the policeman. Then I say, what more do you see? Then he recognize the friend. Policeman is a friend. Say, what more you see? They say, I see, you see too much. I'm not meditating anymore. You're hallucinating, creating, deluded. You're not meditating, you're not aware, you see too much. You should come back rising and falling. If you see, going up is long, going down is short, that is the right seeing. See nature. See what is this nature here and now, reality. Do you see rise and fall? Police car in the rising and falling? Rising police car, falling policeman, rising petrol car. What is nonsense? Delusion. They must note the mind as deluded. You must understand this. It is no laughing matter, because if you do not understand, cannot differentiate, then it could be harmful. That is a question when people ask, Brother Jim, meditation can go mad. A lot of people say can go mad. Of course, it doesn't need meditation to go mad. You go to Tanjung Rambutan and ask them how many go mad because of meditation. You'll be surprised. Most of them go mad without meditation. It's not meditation that produces madness. It is a wrong concentration, wrong thing. Now this happens too in the classes that are conducted in meditation, that sometimes after the 3 months course, I realize that this person, he meditates his own ways. He doesn't follow what is being taught. He's still rising, falling, he does another thing, don't know what he does. And after the course, he has all fantastic things. You don't know what he has been practicing all the time. He practices his own ways. He doesn't bother about what's being taught in the course. So that becomes harmful if it is the wrong type of meditation. Don't play with the mind. The mind is very powerful. If you develop the mind properly, it becomes a very good friend, very powerful friend. If you tame the mind. If you play a fool with the mind, make it go wild, then it's highly dangerous. It harm yourself, it harm others. Now, again the Buddha mentioned a lot of mental states here. Shrunken state of mind as shrunken state. Shrunken. Now what do we mean by a shrunken state of mind? A mind that is rigid. A mind that is indolent, lazy. A mind that is tense up. Now it gets tense up sometimes when you have a lot of pain. And you fight against the pain like that. Don't tense up. The more the pain is, the more you relax. When you tense up the muscle, the more the pain becomes stronger. Don't fight against the pain. Don't fight against it. Okay, relax. When there's pain there, you relax your body. Take note. Go to your relaxation technique and relax the body. If you can tense up, relax, which part of the body? Then you see the pain will disappear. Then watch it objectively. Watch it. Don't say it's I. Don't say my pain. Just watch it. Feeling. Watch it. Laziness. Sometimes when the mind becomes very lazy, say rising, falling, cannot see. Can see your feeling, sitting, touching, cannot see. Can see your state of mind, cannot see. Laziness, indolence. Mind gets stuck. Shrunken state of mind, stuck there, cannot meditate. Then you recognize it, take note. Indolence. When you watch it, you will change. You start to change, become active again. Then you start to rush, you start to run, now restlessness. Keep rushing now. When you meditate, do not force the mind. Watch it. It goes out, you recognize it, then bring it back to the rising and falling. Only when the mind state becomes strong, then you take the mind objects, then you aware of the mind. But if the mind is not strong object, no strong object there, a little bit of restlessness, this and that, it doesn't matter. You take your rising and falling. Just as when you meditate, there are sounds around you, you don't bother too much about the sound. Unless the sound is a very strong sound, somebody yell at you, you don't bother too much about the sound. Unless the sound is a very strong sound, somebody yell at you, suddenly, object very strong, and note, sound. And the sound pass away, pass away. Then you come back to your rising and falling. Just as the rising and falling is your mother object, always come back, or your home. Unless the mind state is strong, then you note the mind. Okay? Tension, yes, sometimes our mind very tense up. So you must relax it, don't tense. Why? When you apply too much concentration without sufficient mindfulness, concentrate, want to let it run away, rising, falling, rising, and mind gets like a tense up, like a stone like that, in your mind, tense up like that. Then you get pain, and you get headache, you get giddiness. Tense, then you know, tense, and you relax. Relax your concentration. You're supposed to aware, not concentrate on the object. If you concentrate on the object, it builds up the tension. It needs a gradual build-up of awareness. When the awareness is continuous there, then you see the concentration builds up. Not apply straight concentration to the point. Then you get tense up. Okay? So if your mind is tense up, then you note tension. This is called awareness of the mind. Distracted state of mind as distracted, and non-distraction as non-distraction. Now what is this distraction? Restlessness, flightiness. Flightiness? The minds want to keep on running but not here. So come back, rising, falling, it goes to Singapore. I say, holiday, want to go to Singapore, buy something. Aware, note, bring it back. And it goes somewhere else again, back to the house. It goes, flightiness. It won't stay, keeps on flying away. There is a problem with the mind. It wants to stay, it wants to go. There's a problem. So, flightiness. Do not force it to come back. Do not force the mind. Mind is too strong for you to force. Do not force. It is an object to build up mindfulness. So you note it. Note it. Restlessness. But if you can name it, it is even better. Suggested by Mahasi Sayadaw or Reverend U Pandita, Venerable U Pandita. Name it, if you can. But not name every one of them, then you get very tired. Those strong ones, you see, and then it goes, pa, 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 pa. I want to drink water, drinking. And then you see another 1,000 thoughts pass without being able to be aware of it. Then suddenly you start to aware of your friend there, your friend, your school friends or colleague. Then you know, friend. And go somewhere else. Then you start to see again. You're thinking of going home. Home. Then you say thinking of appointment next Sunday. Sunday. If you can name it. If you can't, never mind. If you can, watch it. Why? Because if you name it, you check the mind. Now as you check it, the mind slowly loses its stream. Its steam slowly loses its steam. It doesn't run so fast. Why? Because you are looking at it. You become very shy. Refuse to run now. Very shy. And watch it. It stops. Then you know. Now the mind is concentrated. It is not restless. Note it and bring it back. Rising, falling. You must remember, never force your mind. Direct it, but not force. When you want to force the mind, it's like trying to contain a hurricane with a cup. Mind is like a hurricane. You want to catch hold of it, it's like a cup. So what breaks? You think the hurricane breaks? The cup breaks. The mind breaks. Okay? So don't force the mind. Concentrated as concentrated. Your mind stays there, you know. Mind is concentrated, is tranquil. Okay? Freed as freed from defilements. There are times when you know the mind is peaceful and calm and bright and buoyant, very light. There's no defilements there at that moment. It's free from defilements. Thus he dwells practicing mindfulness on the mind, internally or externally. He dwells contemplating origination factors and dissolution factors in the mind. Thus, indeed, monks, a monk dwells practicing mind contemplation on the mind. Now, this is the discourses of the Buddha regarding practicing on the awareness of the mind. Now, internally and externally. So I take it that internally means awareness of the mind base. Mind base. So when you meditate, in the formal type of meditation, when you sit and meditate and look inwards, you will find that the external object becomes less and less disturbing to you. You close your eyes, you don't see, you don't bother about the sound, you don't smell, you don't taste. Sometimes you don't feel any discomfort. But my object. Now what is this mind? Mind arises because of object. Contact objects. So without object, context, the mind cannot arise. You are dead. So mind must have an object. Mind must have an object. So if there is no external objects, the mind goes towards the internal objects, memories, our concepts, desires, our hopes. It brings up ideas from the mind. Then that is called internal object. And watch the mind as it goes up. External objects, when you guard it at the sense base, then you watch it. Sound. That is called the external object. Now when you watch it, if somebody were to scold you, it's very good practice. Sound. So the more he scolds you, the more he gets angry, the more he punishes himself. Because you're not affected. He's affected. Okay? Like sometimes, why? Because you are mindful. You watch it at the sense space. Sound, externally. The mind is there guarding at the sense space, externally. So it is a good practice too in daily life. In daily life when you watch your mind. Sometimes people know that you're a meditator, and then you behave with a lot of anger. Then people will see you. Hey, what type of meditator is that? Supposed to be a lot of calmness, but a lot of anger. So once you become a yogi, a meditator, then you have to check your mind. You are no longer ordinary people. People who are untrained, who are non-meditator. You are no longer ordinary. You are one step above. You are training your mind. How wonderful. So you must be at least better than the untrained. So you have to check your mind. Do not be overwhelmed. If you are not mindful, then it accumulates until you cannot tahan anymore. You say, one more point and I'm exploding. Like that. Why? Not mindful. Wrong attention. Accumulate. Last drop of water overflows the jar. Or last straw breaks the camel's back. Okay? Why? Because there is continuous adding without being mindful. Once you're mindful, it passes away. It does not increase and grow. It goes off. So if you do that in daily life, then you find in your sitting meditation, it becomes easier to sit. Otherwise, daily life, you scold this fellow, scold that fellow, and when you meditate at night, all the scolding still not finished, not habis, still scolding inside. It brings back. If you are a bookkeeper, you say balance brought forward, like that. In a sitting meditation, it comes. Okay? Internal object, external objects. And so the originating factor, how it originates, how it arises, then you know it arises. How it arises? It arises because of sound, originating factor. And it passes away when you note it. Dissolution factor, it passes away, then you note it has passed away. So it is easier for you, suggested by the sayadaws, that you note the easiest thing that arises in your mind, instead of trying to put them into compartment. What is this? Is it, Brother James say, restlessness, or is this what state of mind is that? Is it delusion or not? You start analyzing in your mind. And then you say, alamak, so hard. So no need to put them into compartments. What state is it? Just recognize them. The mind say, I want to drink water. Thirsty. Come back. Rising, falling. When the mind has passed away, then you know, pass away, come back. Or you so much pain, you say, I don't want to meditate anymore. Watch it. Away, anger. Pass away, come back. Rising, falling. Then you start to think, holiday, I'm going to England, and after that I'm going to Scotland, after that I'm going to France. Not away, traveling. Or France, come back. Rising, falling. If you can name them. Cannot, never mind. Don't tire yourself. Don't just sit and watch the mind all the time. Very difficult. Mind is a very subtle object. Very difficult to take the mind as your primary object. So take your rising and falling as your primary object. Mind as the secondary. When it disturbs, when it becomes strong, the object, then that becomes your object. Cittanupassana. Okay? So I will stop here.
In a relaxed manner, calm down, relax the body. Take a few deep breaths to help you to relax. Now we start with having loving kindness for ourselves. That is, making aspirations in a way that we can improve and be much happier. These aspirations, when made again and again, will set one on the right path of purity. And when one is established on the right path, one can develop much further and be a support to others. When you relax and your mind is steady, stay deep inside your heart, knowing the meaning of it. May I be free from enmity. Say in your heart, knowing the meaning, may I be free from enmity. Let the wish sink deep into your consciousness. As you make this wish, be relaxed. May I be free from mental sufferings. This is the second aspiration you make it inside your heart. May I be free from mental sufferings. May I be free from physical sufferings. Say deep into your heart and relax as you say. May I be free from physical sufferings. May I take care of myself happily. May I take care of myself happily. Say to yourself, make the wish. Let it sink deep into your consciousness. May he or she be free from enmity. May he or she be free from enmity. May he or she be free from mental sufferings. Think of the person, that the loving kindness keep going in, keep coming out from your heart as you think of the person and make that wish. May he or she be free from mental sufferings. she be free from physical sufferings. May he or she be free from physical sufferings. May he or she take care of himself or herself happily. May he or she take care of himself or herself happily. May he or she take care of himself or herself happily. Again, we go through another round. Make your mind even more tranquil, even more relaxed. If you do not have loving kindness, think again of his or her qualities or deeds that has done for you. If you think such, a feeling will arise again. You keep thinking of the same thing, so that strong loving kindness arises. And when it's a reason, again make the wish. May he or she be free from enmity. Feel it coming from the bottom of your heart. May he or she be free from enmity. May he or she be free from mental sufferings. May he or she be free from mental sufferings. May he or she be free from physical sufferings. May he or she take care of himself or herself happily. Breathe deeply again to relax. Forget about the rest of the world outside. Forget even your body. Forget who you are. Only a state of mind that is peaceful and relaxed. And deep in your heart, you have the person in mind, as if he is there in your heart, as if he or she is there close to you, as if you can really feel his presence. Now send again the loving kindness to him, from heart to heart. May he or she be free from enmity. the flow of the loving kindness going. May he or she be free from enmity. You can feel the loving kindness and at the same time think of the person. Just let it go on. Encourage it to flow on. Deepen it by making your mind more subtle, more relaxed, and the loving kindness more intense. As it flows on, make the second wish. May he or she be free from mental sufferings. May he or she be free from mental sufferings. Keep the person in your heart, close to you. Send the loving kindness. May he or she be free from mental sufferings. May he or she be free from physical sufferings. May he or she be free from physical sufferings. May he or she take care of himself or herself happily. We can deepen our concentration and loving kindness if we continue to do this to that one person. Sometimes, when we run dry, we may change to another lovable person. And unless this is strong, we go to the other people which are more neutral and whom we dislike usually. But before we can proceed to such difficult objects, we draw out loving kindness with the easier ones. Now we turn to loving kindness that we shall have for all that is who are present here as a group. We can let our minds feel for each other. For each of us really wish nothing but happiness and freedom from sufferings. And we make that wish for everyone in the group present here. We let our minds feel for each other, wish for each other, as if an energy that merges and strengthens the hearts of each one of us. So we wish, may all present here be free from enmity. May all present here be free from enmity. Let your mind and heart wish for everyone in this room as if our hearts are one. May all present here be free from enmity. May all present here be free from mental sufferings. Again, let our minds merge as we wish for each other's welfare. May all present here be free from mental sufferings. May all present here be free from physical sufferings. May all present here be free from physical sufferings. May all present here be free from physical sufferings. May all present here take care of themselves happily. And relax. And finally, we wish for loving kindness for all beings in the universe. As our minds merge together, let it also spread as if far and wide. As if wishing for the entire universe to be happy. May all beings be free from enmity. May all beings be free from mental sufferings. May all beings be free from physical sufferings. As you expand, relax. May all beings take care of themselves happily. You can go on like this. The mind will be much expanded, at the same time peaceful with all the world, at peace with everyone in the world. Yes, we shall start our metta bhavana here.